tremendous honor to meet you, honestly, and you're just one of the legends of the sustainability field. You fully deserve this Lifetime Achievement Award that you've just won with the Zayed Community Prize. And your name is perhaps the most iconic name tied to the term sustainability. Do you still find it's one of the most important guiding concepts for society?
Yes, it is quite thought-provoking and interesting to realize that the analysis and the recommendations of our common future back in 1987, and of course the definition of the concept itself, but generally the call for radical change in the future world economy, that although it's taken 28 years, the concept has been accepted. The world has agreed to 17 Sustainable Development Goals and agreed in the Paris Agreement. So it's a fascinating story of the last nearly 30 years of calling for change, inspiring change, and knowing that it has been absolutely necessary to take those new steps.
My bachelor's is in sociology, and my master's degree is in city and regional planning. So we've discussed extensively sustainable development, sustainability. There's quite a bit of discussion back then, it was about a decade ago or more, about how useful the term sustainability is. Is it too general? Is it too nebulous? For me, it always made sense. It's what you're doing now, can it last, right? Is that how would you put it?
Well, I have followed this discussion.
You've defined
philosophical. No, but in the following years,
yeah. Okay.
Academic discussions about the concept, and of course, discussions academically, socially, people engaged about the concept is very important. That's why it has been alive, and why it has not been forgotten. And now the world is agreeing behind those goals. But sometimes some of that academic discussion about how you could have made a different concept, to me, it's interesting, but it's not important. The important thing is the main message, the thrust of the report, the fact that we have an intergenerational responsibility combining the destiny of people and the destiny of our planet. This is why we need sustainable development. And then it's a multifaceted approach in any case.
I love it. I think it's still a very compelling term. It captures, can we keep going in this way, or are we going to hit a brick wall?
Absolutely. Are we doing the change in time?
So you have a strong history in health matters, and now Norway is clearly if not the world leader in electric car adoption. By far, market share, it's the leader. This is my current passion, 95% of my work. Can you speak a little bit about the importance of EVs for improving health, and how Norway
of
electric cars for improving
health, yes. Yeah.
And how Norway got so far ahead in the support of the adoption of electric cars?
Well, first of all, in Norway, we are not afraid of making necessary regulations. We know that although we belong to a global market economy, we want to have a sense of direction, using policies that will inspire in the directions of what we need and want our society to move towards. This is whether, like 40 years ago, I campaigned for safe school roads, walking roads for children to go to school. And now, how do you inspire a change in the car system in Norway towards electric cars? Well, you change the taxation system so that it benefits the customer to prioritize buying an electric car. We are ready to use policies, and we are able to have majorities, lasting majorities in the Norwegian Parliament for progressive policies. And by the way, when the CO2 tax on the Norwegian continental shelf was introduced in 1990-91, it was a hard fight to convince people about it. And it was a shock to many people across the world that Norway, an oil exporting country, would put a big tariff on the CO2 emissions. But we knew that this was necessary to do. You have to pay for carbon emissions. And that's the only way to get to a stage where we are no longer suffocated by the use of fossil fuels.
I saw a presentation at an EV conference from head of Nissan for Europe, and he was discussing why Norway is such a leader in electric cars. And it was he made the point that other countries have very strong financial incentives as well, but they don't have nearly the growth of electric cars. And he made a point of it, the key being overall awareness in the public.
Well,
and
yes.
And a history of decades of working on it.
You know, Norwegians are environmentally aware, because they have heard these debates and been part of these debates about the future, about the environment, about sustainable development, now for more than 30 years. And most of them have grasped it, and they want to try to put, this impact into their private lives. However, I do think that the economic incentive, which is large in this case, that Norway has put to benefit electric cars, has made a big difference.
Yeah, sure. Well, I don't want to make you blush, but I mean, you're a key part of why sustainability is such a core part of Norwegian society, isn't it?
Well, probably.
Yeah.
As a young woman environment minister that became deputy leader and then leader of the party and the country, yes, for years and years.
But it was also in the country
in Norway
to elect
and outside, yes.
To put you in that position, right? So you're one of the key global figures who changed the tide on cigarette smoking. Do you find the need for electric transport to be comparable to address public health concerns? Do you think it's comparable to the threat cigarette smoking caused?
Well, the cigarette smoking issue was in one way relatively simple. You have a product that is dangerous to health. It's not needed. You can basically abolish it or do what you can to reduce the consumption and the interest in it. When you come to public and private transportation, the issue area is a little more complex. However, again, you can put policies that inspire the right solutions. And this is what needs to be done, also in this area. And health, as well as climate, are good reasons to do so in the case of electric vehicles.
And what's your view on the results of COP21? Simple question.
Well, I'm happy about what in the end was able to be the result in Paris. Many people have to be congratulated for that, including the French presidency. I think they were important. But of course, the long road of steps and change and trials and disappointments in the years before, all of them are part of a history that finally led to results in 2015, both on sustainable development goals in September and then in Paris in December.
And you have a strong connection to France. Do you feel a similar environmental awareness in France as in Norway, or is Norway a special beast?
We have had a small house in Nice in France for 10 years. But I still don't speak French well.
Okay.
Only, I'm not really. So I'm not.
You're not fully assimilated into the French culture.
But I admire what the French presidency, in fact, did, and the personal engagement, both of the president and the foreign minister, and of course the others, environment and others. But they really made a good show, helping the world get together.